What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to All Things Film. Today I'm doing a review for The Walking Dead Season 8, Episode 3, titled Monsters. And before I start, just a general spoiler warning. I'm going to be talking about most things that happen in this episode. But it's been out for a couple weeks now, so I'm sure everyone has seen it. So first things first is rest in peace, Morales. Honestly, I did not expect him to kill him that quickly. But I totally understand it because I'm sure they brought him back because the fans were always asking what happened to Morales, and they had so many questions for him, and he did answer the questions. He said he went to Birmingham, his family didn't make it, and obviously that's why he turned into who he is today. The saviors picked him up, and that shows you, like, in this world, survival of the fittest. Because when we first met Morales, he seemed like a decent man. He helped Rick. He seemed like a good person, and now he just didn't give a shit about anything. Because a lot of people are saying Rick should tell Morales that Negan killed Glenn. Maybe that'll change his mindset, but it didn't. Like, Rick told him, Negan killed Glenn, Andrea died, Lori died, Shane died, all these people that he knew died, and Morales didn't care. He even said, like, that was a long time ago. So that's how we knew there's no turning back from Morales. And then Daryl killed him, and I did not expect it. There's an arrow to the head, and that really shows Daryl's character. He doesn't care about anybody either. If you work for Negan, if you like Negan, if you respect Negan, if you are Negan, you are a dead man to Daryl Dixon. Let me just say that. And I feel like that's gonna show that's gonna have some conflict later on in the series or the season. So we're gonna see where that takes us. Like, right now, I feel like our group split in half. Like, half of us wanted to save this, not save, but like spare the saviors, and like half of us want to kill them, no mercy at all. Like another example of this was Morgan and Jesus earlier in the episode, or like later in the episode, because they had a fight. The fight we saw in the trailer at Comic-Con. We finally saw that happen, and it was a badass fight. I'll say that. It wasn't a fight that we want to see. We never want to see our friends fighting, but it was pretty interesting, and because they were taking the prisoners to the hilltop to figure out what to do with them, and obviously walkers came, and people started freaking out, and it was mayhem, and people were dying, and they had to take care of the walkers and the infected people. And of course, Jared, the guy Morgan hates the most, he was the one guy who decided to run off into the woods with his group, and Morgan ran after them. He killed one, and I think he tried to kill another one, and Jesus came and just like slapped the gun out of his hand, and I was like, okay, Jesus has some balls for that, because Morgan is a crazy person right now, and I wouldn't have been surprised if he killed him. And in this picture right here, I thought he did kill him, but I think Jesus just extended his neck or something. When I first saw that on TV, it looked like he killed him, honestly, and I was like, what the hell? But then the way they shot it, the camera angle, and then Jesus was making jokes and stuff, which is pretty funny. Like, he was like, "You want to stop? Maybe not." But Jesus was kicking Morgan's ass on it, to be honest. And then Morgan just gave up. He was like, I can't be part of this. And it's really, Morgan's character makes me sad. And if something happens to Morgan, I'm gonna cry like a little baby, because I love Morgan. And Morgan's one of my favorite characters. And he just can't set his mind to one thing right now. And we're gonna have to see what happens to him. Hopefully it doesn't take a long time before we see him again, because he went off on his own. So we'll just see what happens to him. But so they did take the prisoners to the hilltop, and this was a funny moment when Gregory came, and he was like begging them to come back, and Maggie was like, "Shut your damn mouth." That was pretty funny. I don't think it was supposed to be funny, but that was pretty funny how she shut down Gregory. And it was also funny when he said Cal is delusional, and Cal was like, "What the hell?" And like he flipped him off. That was pretty funny. And Cal was like, "You ate that little girl's pancakes," and that's definitely a Gregory type of thing to do. I definitely see him doing that. So that was a little bit of funny. I was wondering what happened to Cal, because we didn't see him the first two episodes, but good to see he's back. And then when they brought the prisoners, Maggie was like, "Gregory," like yelling at him, like barking at him, like a mother or something would do to a child, like, "Gregory." And that was pretty funny. And it shows Maggie's ready to be a mom. And Maggie's a good leader. She was like, she didn't say no. Like, even though she hates the saviors because they killed Glenn, they killed her husband. Obviously she's gonna have, like, she's one of the people who hates them the most, and because they've done her wrong. And she's a good leader, and she's not selfish like Gregory. And she took what Jesus said into account. It's like, okay, like, I'm sure they're gonna think about it. And she's not gonna be selfish and be like, no, fuck the saviors just because they killed Glenn. She's gonna see what everyone wants to do and make her decision based on that. So I really like Maggie as a leader. She's a really good leader. But Scott M. Gable said that this season's gonna have a lot of action, and it does have a lot of action so far. The battle is still happening between like outside the outpost with Aaron, Eric, and Tobin's group, and then the saviors. And spoiler warning, but rest in peace, Eric. That was really sad. I saw it coming because of the comics. But I still wasn't ready for it. That always happens to me. Like, you always, like, with The Walking Dead, you kind of know what's going to happen because they always hint at it. There's a comic book. There's always rumors going around. So you always kind of have an idea what's going to happen, unless you completely stay off the internet. But if you're on the internet, you kind of have an idea what's going to happen. And I kind of knew it was going to happen. And also last episode, he got shot, and that looked like a really bad shot. But I still wasn't ready for it, man. And Ross Marquand, that was an amazing performance tonight. He wasn't a talking dead. I'll get to that in a second, but that was really good. That was a really good performance. His facial expression, seeing the Walker, Eric, that was really sad. Maybe tear up a little bit. I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, men can cry. Men can cry when they watch TV shows. But yeah. So Eric died, and we saw it coming. Like the thing about The Walking Dead is you always, like I said, you always know what's gonna happen, but you're never ready for it. I always knew, I had a feeling Glenn was gonna die. Obviously, it was something that's probably gonna happen, and I still wasn't ready for it. I cried like a little baby when it happened. But that's besides the point. Let's get back to the episode. Yeah. So Speaking of Talking Dead, Eric's character, Eric as an actor, was there. I think his name is Jordan Allen Woods. I'm not sure. I might be totally wrong. But Ross Marquand was there. Norman Reedus was there, and Morales' character, I think his name is like Juan Gabriel Pereira. Sorry if I missaid something, but I think that was his name. And let me just tell you that his voice, his real voice, sounds nothing like Morales. And I was like, when I first heard it, because I've never seen him in an interview or anything, and it really caught me off guard when I heard his voice. But obviously he was there, and Norman Reedus was there, talking about AMC's writer Norman Reedus, and then somebody asked a question saying, "Is it too early to talk about Jesus and Aaron possibilities?" And I was like, yes, it's too early. This man just lost Eric, Give it some time, people. But people want to see that, and we'll see what happens in the future. Alright, but back to the episode. The kingdom right now is kicking ass. Let me just tell you that. A lot of people think Ezekiel has been Alright, but back to the episode. The kingdom was also in this episode. And right now the kingdom is totally kicking ass. Some stuff went down towards the end. I'll get to that in a second. But right now the kingdom is executing the mission very good. When the saviors surrounded them, they took him down easily. They have no problem at all. And King Ezekiel is one of my favorite characters, and every time he talks, it just I just love every time he talks. The words he says, so majestic. But yeah, right now the kingdom is one of my favorite parts of the season so far. And back to Daryl and Rick after they took care of Morales. They ran into a little bit of trouble in the hallway, but they got out of that. And but Rick went back and took Gracie. A lot of people were asking or wondering what's gonna happen to the baby. And Rick still has a good heart, and he took the baby and he gave it to Aaron. And I would love to see Aaron raise the baby, honestly, because in this world you need someone to keep you moving forward. Rick has his kids and his family and friends, and Aaron just lost something really big, like an important person in his life. The biggest and the most important person in his life at this point. And I think I would love to see him raise Gracie, because I think that'll build character. That'll make him a much happier person, in my opinion. But there's theories out there that Judith dies and Rick raises Gracie. Those are all theories, and just forget about that. But and then after they clear this outpost, just Rick and Daryl and that guy from I think Boy Meets World or something like that, Minkus, I don't know. That his character he shoots at Rick, and Rick says, "If you tell us where the 50 cal, the guns are, we're trying to find, he would let them live, and he does tell them where they are. He says it's by Gavin's outpost, and he tells him, and Rick, I know Rick would have kept his word, but Daryl just shot the guy in the head, and that really shows like Daryl has no mercy for anybody who works for Negan, and you know the way Rick looked at him was like, really, bruh? Like, really, like Rick looked disappointed in him, and a lot of people think there's gonna be a conflict between Rick and Daryl, and I think there will be. Not like people were saying like Daryl's gonna be the new Shane. Like, there's no, I don't not see that happening. No way. That's gonna be too far. But I do think there's gonna be a little bit like maybe Rick will confront Daryl and be like, "Hey man, you need to calm down. You know, you need to think before you do stuff." Like, I don't think it's gonna get to the extent where they're gonna fight. No, there's no way. I don't see that happening. But that's how the episode ends. And then no, that's not how the episode ends. I forgot one more thing. The biggest thing, the kingdom, they get to this point and they seem like they're safe. They're about to attack another sanctuary, another outpost, and then they bring the guns to that outpost and they just shoot down the entire kingdom. And we see so many people go down and they run and try to jump on top of the king and save the king. And we had to wait till the next episode. I've seen it already, but I'm gonna talk about it in my next review. But yeah, that was a pretty intense ending. We had to wait a week for that. So yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed that review. Overall, I thought it was a good episode, action packed. And I'm really excited for the rest of the season. You know, this season has really been great, and you know, I'm really excited because this is one of my favorite storylines, arcs from the comics, and I'm really excited to see how it ends. And so many good battles about to happen, and I'm just really excited for the future of The Walking Dead. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, feel free to leave a like rating and subscribe for more content like this, movie reviews, TV show reviews, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. This has been All Things Film, and until next time, peace.